Tom Cruise needs no introduction, but there are some heartbreaking details about the megastar's personal life that even his biggest fans are unaware of. Thomas Cruise Maypother IV was born in Syracuse, New York in 1962. His father, Thomas, was an electrical engineer, while his mother, Mary, was a schoolteacher and aspiring actor. Cruise's earliest years were spent dealing with verbal and physical abuse at the hands of his father, whom Cruise called both a bully and a coward and a merchant of chaos. He told Parade, "He was the kind of person where, if something goes wrong, they kick you. It was a great lesson in my life, how he'd lull you in, make you feel safe, and then, bang. For me, it was like, there's something wrong with this guy. Don't trust him. Be careful around him. There's that anxiety." Cruise revealed that the abuse was both verbal and physical, telling Vanity Fair, "I'd get hit and I didn't understand it." After his mother divorced his father, Cruise remained estranged from his dad for a decade. At 22, they reconnected as his father was dying of cancer, something Cruise channeled when he filmed a similar scene for the 1999 film Magnolia. The Maypother family was extremely poor, and Cruise's father kept them moving due to his inability to keep a job and his near constant search for work. After Cruise's mother left her husband, she moved her kids to Louisville, Kentucky, working 3 jobs in search of a better life. Because of all the moving around, Cruise attended 15 schools over the course of 12 years. This included a Catholic seminary in Cincinnati, Ohio, where Cruise spent a year at age 14 before his desire to join the priesthood waned. Shortly thereafter, a lead role in a school production of Guys and Dolls sparked Cruise's desire to be in the movies. In 1978, when Cruise was 16, his mother remarried and they ended up moving to Glen Ridge, New Jersey. Cruise told Parade she inspired him in his drive to create a life for himself. "People can create their own lives. I saw how my mother created hers and so made it possible for us to survive." She said, "We're going to get through this."
I think I know she's really proud.
It is always hard to envision Hollywood's biggest stars as anything less than cool, but Cruise has said he was ostracized and ridiculed by his peers as a youngster. There were a multitude of factors positioning him as an outsider at school, starting with the fact that he was consistently the new kid in class. Cruise also could not read, and being placed in remedial classes further isolated him. Moreover, he was small. He told Parade, "So many times the big bully comes up, pushes me. Your heart's pounding, you sweat, and you feel like you're going to vomit. I'm not the biggest guy. I never liked hitting someone, but I know if I don't hit that guy hard, he's going to pick on me all year." The scars of childhood bullying often last a lifetime, and perhaps not coincidentally, there have been reports that Cruise can be somewhat of a bully himself. For instance, Leah Remini accused him of shouting at assistants in her memoir, and in 2020 he made headlines when he was caught on an audio recording aggressively yelling at his crew over COVID-19 protocols. Furthermore, Cruise's first manager, Eileen Berlin, has claimed he has a terrible temper and accused him of throwing an album at her face. She told the Daily Mail, "There's contempt, arrogance, frustration, charm, sadness. I saw him in all those moods. What I have never seen is a real display of happiness in Tommy." According to the Yale Center for Dyslexia and Creativity, dyslexia refers to an unexpected difficulty in reading for an individual who has the intelligence to be a much better reader, and it occurs due to issues with phonological processing. Given that an estimated 20% of the population has dyslexia, it is no surprise that a fair number of celebrities have been open about how the learning disorder has impacted their lives. This list includes Cher, Steven Spielberg, Octavia Spencer, Anderson Cooper, and many others. But one of the first big-name stars to open the door to talking about dyslexia was none other than Tom Cruise. Cruise's dyslexia was a massive factor in his early life, contributing to his feelings of self-worth and isolating him from his peers. Cruise was diagnosed with dyslexia when he was 7, but the diagnosis did not bring him much comfort. He told Parade, "The school took me to a psychiatrist to get tested. They said, 'Oh, he's dyslexic.' I'm labeled. It instantly put me into confusion. It was an absolute affront to my dignity." Cruise said he struggled to find normalcy after the diagnosis, which is what led him to study psychiatry, which later led to his feud with Brooke Shields over antidepressants and his infamous 2005 interview with Matt Lauer, in which he went on an anti-psychiatry rant.
Just knowing people who are on Ritalin isn't enough. You should be a little bit more responsible in knowing
I'm not prescribing Ritalin.
Cruise's stance is, of course, also informed by his role in the Church of Scientology, which he is credited with helping him to overcome dyslexia through their study technology technique. Tom Cruise is good at a lot of things, acting, producing, smiling, but marriage does not seem to be one of them. And because he is so famous, fans have had a front row seat for every romantic failure. Cruise's girlfriends have included Rebecca De Mornay, Penelope Cruz, and Cher, but he has also been married 3 times. The actor first got married in May 1987 when he was 24, and his bride, Mimi Rogers, was 32. Rogers soon found herself enveloped in Cruise's fast-growing celebrity, and the marriage broke down. Cruise filed for divorce in December 1989, and the union was officially dissolved the following February. In a 1993 Playboy interview, Rogers claimed her marriage ended because Cruise wanted to be a monk. At least for that period of time, it looked as though marriage wouldn't fit into his overall spiritual need, and he thought he had to be celibate to maintain the purity of his instrument. That idea quickly fizzled, since Cruise met his next wife, Nicole Kidman, on the set of Days of Thunder only days after his split. He reportedly proposed as soon as the divorce was finalized, and the pair were married on Christmas Eve in 1990. Cruise ultimately filed for divorce in February 2001 and went on to have a third failed marriage with Katie Holmes, which lasted from 2006 to 2012 and led to a number of infamous tabloid moments.
Have you ever felt this way before?
Cruise and Kidman were married for over a decade, which is an eternity in show business circles. By the time the couple announced their split in February 2001, they were one of Hollywood's most visible power couples. Very few saw the divorce coming, including Kidman herself. She told Du Jour, "I thought our life together was perfect. It took me a very long time to heal. It was a shock to my system." Even though Cruise publicly announced that Kidman was aware of why he initiated a split, the public remains in the dark about what truly happened. The media had a field day, with rumors swirling about pretty much every aspect of the couple's life, including how their film Eyes Wide Shut may have impacted the marriage, and whether one or both spouses cheated. One of the most unfortunate stories concerned an alleged miscarriage, although there were conflicting reports regarding the timeline. Kidman set the record straight after some outlets claimed she had a miscarriage at age 23, telling Marie Claire, "So it's huge news, and it didn't happen. I had a miscarriage at the end of my marriage, but I had an ectopic pregnancy at the beginning of my marriage. It was incredibly traumatic for me. Sometimes you share your grief." The couple did eventually welcome 2 children to their family through adoption prior to their divorce. There are certain actors who are identifiable primarily because of their presence in action and adventure movies. In the early years of his career, Cruise appeared in a few films that could loosely be classified as action, such as Top Gun and Days of Thunder. But his first full foray into the genre occurred when he starred in 1996's Mission Impossible, which launched a film franchise that is still going nearly 3 decades later. And beyond playing Ethan Hunt, Cruise has also made a number of other action films, both franchises and one-offs, from Jack Reacher to Edge of Tomorrow and beyond. A known adrenaline junkie, it is clear that Cruise is especially attracted to films that allow him to do his own stunts, no matter how extreme. The star has spoken about having to convince others to let him tackle certain tasks, and has at times put his life at risk in order to score the perfect shot. Among others, Cruise has torn a shoulder, cracked multiple ribs, and injured an ankle at least twice, a legacy of pain and injury that he carries with him. But it could have been much worse. While Cruise is famous for doing as many stunts himself as possible, even he has to sometimes use stunt performers on films. And in 2017, he found himself embroiled in scandal after 2 pilots were killed and another injured while filming action scenes for the movie American Made. The deaths occurred after a plane crashed in the Colombian Andes, where the film was shooting, and multiple lawsuits were filed against producers and others associated with the film. Cruise was not himself sued, but court documents obtained by People magazine made it clear that the families blamed both Cruise and director Doug Liman for cutting corners to save time and money.
Did they need to include them in the context of the lawsuit, or is this an effort to draw Tom Cruise's name into the lawsuit?
The family suggested that both put their desire for a high-risk, action-packed motion picture above the well-being of the pilots and adherence to safety protocols. They also noted that Cruise himself is a skilled pilot who could have done some of the shots rather than add hours to the stunt performer schedules each day. Regardless of blame, the tragic loss of life made a mark on Cruise's reputation. All big celebrities have been subject to rumors, but there are times when the rumor mill gets especially nasty. Though they rarely have any kernel of truth and are especially cruel, death hoaxes have become a staple of the internet age. Unfortunately, Tom Cruise has been falsely declared dead at least 4 times, in 2008, 2010, 2020, and 2023. Unlike the random 2016 hoax that suggested Cruise was moving back to his birthplace of Syracuse, New York, death rumors are not just playful gossip, but problematic and mean lies that can be quite distressing. The first time Cruise was the subject of one was in 2008, when he supposedly fell off a cliff in New Zealand. 2 years later, the rumor was that the star died in a plumbing accident. Cruise made light of it at the time, but probably did not think he'd be killed off by the internet so regularly. The 2023 rumor was so undeveloped that it did not even have an attached cause of death, but the 2020 hoax claimed Cruise perished in an on-set accident, which sounds totally plausible and understandably had fans freaking out. Tom Cruise is a rather litigious fellow, especially when it comes to fighting the tabloids, and he's not afraid to fight dirty.
Take a big step back and literally your own face!
He once sued a porn star for $100 million after the man, Chad Slater, claimed to have slept with Cruise and been the catalyst for the end of his second marriage. The court awarded him a judgment of $10 million, and that is only one of the multiple lawsuits Cruise has filed regarding rumors of gay affairs. Never one to lay back and take it, Cruise also went to war with German conglomerate Bauer Media after they made troubling claims regarding his relationship with his youngest daughter, Suri. Suri, born in April 2006, is Cruise's daughter with his third wife, Katie Holmes. After Cruise and Holmes split up in 2012, himself, rumors swirled for years about Cruz's lack of involvement in his young daughter's life. The actor took things to court after Bauer magazine's In Touch and Life and Style both published stories alleging that Cruz abandoned his daughter after the divorce. Cruz asked for $50 million in damages in the defamation suit, and things got ugly on both sides, as Bauer even tried to get Suri's mental health records. The parties ultimately settled in December 2013, although all terms were kept confidential, except for the fact that both Cruz and the publisher covered their own legal fees. Even though Tom Cruise has cultivated an everyman, guy-next-door persona, it remains unclear whether his nice guy image is true to his actual attitude and behavior. It was easy to buy into Cruise's aw shucks vibe when he was younger, but as the years have progressed, more and more reports have come out to suggest that Cruise might not be exactly who he seems to be when in front of the camera. And it does not help matters that Cruise has had several high-profile feuds with other celebrities. The list of people with whom Cruise has ongoing conflict is quite long and includes huge celebrities like Brad Pitt, John Travolta, and the Beckhams. There is also former Scientologist Leah Remini, who publicly went to war with Cruz upon leaving the church as part of her crusade to reveal what she considers the dangers of Scientology.
Tom and all Scientologists are taught to believe that people like me are literally the devil.
One of Cruz's bitterest feuds was with famed director Steven Spielberg, whom he worked with on War of the Worlds. The two were at loggerheads for nearly 2 decades before the two buried the hatchet at an Oscar lunch in 2023. The conflict reportedly began because Spielberg was angered by Cruz's couch-jumping Oprah Winfrey interview, which was supposed to be a War of the Worlds promo appearance, and subsequent public denigration of Brooke Shields' use of antidepressants. If you totally forgot that Tom Cruise once had a thing with Sofia Vergara, you are definitely forgiven. After all, Vergara was still years away from being cast on Modern Family, and was thus not super famous at the time. Plus, Cruise has had so many paramours that it can be hard to keep track. In addition to his longer-term relationships, the star has had brief dalliances with everyone from Melissa Gilbert to Cher. The reason Vergara is even a notable ex is because Cruise reportedly expressed an interest in rekindling the romance in August 2023, after Vergara's divorce from Joe Manganiello put her back on the market. According to Andrew Morton's Tom Cruise, an unauthorized biography, Cruise and Vergara first dated in 2005 after the actor gave a list of potential mates to leaders at the Church of Scientology. The couple was reportedly then introduced by Will Smith, who invited Vergara to a pre-Oscars party with the intent of setting them up. It is unclear how long they were together, but there is only one instance where Vergara and Cruise were photographed in public, and they reportedly called it off because Vergara was unwilling to renounce Catholicism for Scientology. That seemingly hasn't stopped Cruise from pining after Vergara, as he reportedly began calling mutual friends as soon as she became single. An unnamed insider told OK Magazine, "If she bites, he's all set to pounce. He thinks she's exactly what has been missing from his life." It is a necessity that a celebrity of Tom Cruise's magnitude have thick skin, and Cruise has certainly been the butt of more than a few jokes over the course of his career. The actor has also faced a lot of criticism, for everything from his religion to his parenting to his exuberance. Even Cruise's appearance has at times been ripped apart, especially his smile, despite the fact that he is widely regarded as a conventionally attractive male. For instance, the internet had a field day when Cruise was seen at a baseball game with a mysteriously puffy face in 2021. It quickly went back to normal, but not until after the Peanut Gallery got their say on social media. Though critique or ridicule from keyboard warriors is one thing, it is an entirely different ballgame when it is another celebrity doing the bashing. This is especially true if said celebrity is the author of the source material you are set to bring to life, which is what happened to Cruise when author Anne Rice got wind of his casting in the 1994 film adaptation of her novel Interview with the Vampire. Not only did Rice denigrate Cruise's casting in a Los Angeles Times article, but she continuously complained to crowds of fans about how Cruise butchered her script by removing content to fit his clean-cut image. Cruise told Esquire, "When it first hit, it really hurt my feelings, to be candid about it. Her venom hurt." For someone in a career that, by its very nature, includes a lot of rejection, Cruise does not seem to take it very well. Then again, it has probably been a very long time since Cruise has had to audition, and since he is such a bankable star, his professional life likely includes very little rejection. On the personal fronts, however, Cruise does not always get his way, and personal rejections that happen on a world stage cause him what seem to be extreme amounts of embarrassment. When you are not used to your advances being rebuffed, even the smallest slight can seem like a big deal, which might be why Cruise was reportedly so mortified when Kate Middleton refused his help at the UK premiere of Top Gun: Maverick. While the princess initially accepted Cruise's hand to walk up the stairs, once she made it up the first flight, she switched her purse to avoid Cruise's aid for the second flight. The moment was captured on video, went viral via TikTok, and allegedly caused Cruise much distress. It is not the only public rejection that has sent Cruise into a tailspin either. After he unsuccessfully attempted to pursue a romance with singer Shakira, news outlets reported that Cruise was extremely upset by the slight, especially after reports came out that Shakira had to beg Cruise to stop pursuing her. An insider told OK Magazine, "It was a huge dent to Tom's ego."